Go in this little field here, and it's like a kind of like just mowed down. See, it's just a whole bunch of trash here. So, but yeah, I think I cut that yote probably right over here, and then I got trap up there about 150 yards, and then another 200, probably another 100 yards from that, another one. So 1, 2, and then I'm gonna come right down here. So this is the wind's blowing west and south. It's gonna be blowing all through this field here, and there's a bunch of dogs hunting that field. So, but yeah, we're gonna put that sucker right here. Got that pipe nailed in the ground there. It's just a chunk I had left over. It's 1.5 inches. So, but you see where I moved all that. That's where I'm gonna put the trap bed right there. And yeah, it should blend real nice. I'm gonna kind of keep it just dirt and have the sand, and yeah, I'll show you the end result there. All right. So I dig this out deep, okay, before I do anything. And then I kind of hit the sides with my hands, kind of make it, you know, like a bowl whole way around, almost round. And then I just, you know, pound these out just under, because, you know, a little bit, just levers are, that's what my trap's gonna sit on. So, all right, let me I'll get the anchor in and get the trap set here using the Bridger number 3 right there. Okay, and get that in there for you. Really hard to do this one-handed. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, that's not night latched yet, but set it, and we'll go ahead and drive that down in there. Good. It's hard one-handed. They laugh at me, but let me put this down for these 2 hands here. Ugh. There we go. All right. Now you gotta get the stake out. Sometimes it's a hard thing to do. Sometimes it ain't. Grab your chain here. There, that's set. That ain't going anywhere. So that's about what you want there. Okay. All right. Now how just kind of size it up. So levers, they sit in there like this, and then I'm gonna have to pound that out just a little bit so it sits a little flatter. But it looks like it's gonna sit real good. So let me do that real quick. It's hard one-handed filming. I just kind of pound this out a little bit. Yeah, so, and it's not sitting flat, but the ground, so it's kind of not sitting flat. It's sitting like this, but the ground's like this, and that's what I like to look for, because when I put that wax sand over top and that rain hits, that water just sheds right off, you know. And like I said, I don't really like a divot. I kind of keep everything flat, not even for him to, you know, put that low spot. If anything, just I think a clearer spot. As long as that's solid, you know, I think eventually they hit that pan. And those pans are big too, so that's why I like these traps. I caught all my canines on these Bridger 3s. So, and that's just me. I mean, you can use any trap, but that's what's working for me. So let me get this in here better. I'm gonna try to keep continuing now. It's hard to film one hand, but this is just how I do it. Just I send pictures a lot just so everybody sees, but maybe kind of watching. So I'm gonna have no gloves on, but so basically, nice worm down there. Basically, I get that in there like that, and grab some salt, put it down here, kind of around like this. Okay, just like that. And I grab a handful of peat moss, I throw it down in the hole, grab a little bit more, sprinkle it where the levers are gonna sit. I want like my trap kind of touching all that peat moss, just like that. I put a little bit more in, just because, you know, you're gonna be packing this thing full of peat, you know, so I'll just do something like that. Not too much so you can still bed it good, but throw a little bit more salt there, okay? And then, well, before I do that, grab me one of these suckers. Man, it's hard one-handed. All right, so this is pipe insulation. I'll grab about this much. I just rip it, and then there, one hand here. Just fold it like this. Okay, like that. Fold it. So what this does when you put it under that pan, okay, you put under this pan any dirt in there, okay, it prevent, if you get dirt under that pan, especially now it freezes, water, ice, that freezes, that's it. That pan won't push down and fire that trap. So I use these. You can use screen covers, but this is what I use, and that's what I mean, I like it. So you can buy this pretty cheap, comes in rolls, and it's nice. You just unroll like you watched and rip off. So you get that. And then now you want a night latch if your trap has night latch, or, you know, this is when I kind of set my pan. If you listen, you can hear it click. See that click? That means that's ready. And out of the box, I never really adjusted these, but you can see that pan sits pretty flat, and that's what you want, okay? So then now I'll go ahead and put that in the bed. And now you can see it's resting on these levers, but I'm gonna start working it in and push a little bit, okay? And I get it set in there, and I'll show you about the rocking. So let me use two hands here. I don't know if you can see if I set you up here. Let's see. Maybe. Okay, so that's pretty solid there. I just kind of pushed down. I pushed forward a little bit, brought the jaw down here. You push on this lever. No movement. No movement. Nothing there. Nothing there. And what I'm saying is when you push on this part is up here wants a tendency to move. You got to pay attention to that, because if that, you got this all covered with sand or dirt or whatever, grass, you know, you could put grass right over this right now, and you could still catch them. You know, a little bit more foot guidance, so they might feel the metal under the grass. But I use wax sand, and I'll show you. But yeah, so right there, basically, I mean, it's solid. Okay, and like I said, I like them pretty flat. And then the edges, you know, that's why I bowl it out. I like that kind of, you know, and then I'll fill it in, you know. But I don't, when it's frozen ground, you don't want, when it's nice ground, you can take your hammer, pound all this in. If your traps are rocking, and you're good to go. That will hold, that mud will hold all that. But being that this is frozen, if you got any of this wet mud right here, and As soon as it drops down, you know, mid 20s, you know, even high 20s, but mid 20s, your trap, it's going to be hard to, you know, if this was pushed over, it's going to be hard to come up through that. That's like concrete. But yeah, let me get this, you know, once I have it at this position here, you know, I go ahead and I peat moss this, just like this. I'm kind of going a little slow, but I don't sift it, you know. I mean, if I see chunks, I take it out as I go. I don't sift this stuff. This has just been dry in the garage, but I get about that much in there, something to work with, okay? And then, like again, I'm using no gloves, but I usually use gloves. But yeah, I know where my pan is. It's right here. You want to fill all this in. You want to pack it, especially up here. You can, I suppose, the whole dog area you can pan. So in this corner, see how that's falling in there? You start putting sand in there, it's going to start falling down on a rain, and then you come back and your pan's all exposed. So you want to pack this in. This is where it's a little time consuming for me, but I think it pays off, is just packing this. And I bring this peat, I pack it in, you know, not super tight, but pretty good. It'll actually help too if you have a little bit of rock, and it might, you know, help stabilize that too. But pushing it in, don't touch in the pan, you know, because you will, you know, that trap will fire. These are set about a little over about 2.5 pounds. Some are good 2.5 pounds. But yeah, you just, you know, anything that's left, I just kind of keep doing this, keep working it, being careful you don't hit the pan. You know, see how that's still getting some in there. Okay, just working that in like that. Okay, packing a little bit on the levers there, because that peat moss, it helps the water, you know, it disperses the water out too. But it will freeze when it usually, you know, if you got this much peat, the outsides are going to get water and they can freeze. But you know, like I said, this kind of insulates everything in here, and then you're going to put that wax sand on top as a waterproof. You're going to get groundwater, but you know, like I said, if you put it in a nice spot where, you know, we're on a little hill right here, so it's not going to collect water as much. But yeah, once I do that, I bring that peat up pretty much level with this pan like this. Okay, just like that. You know, you can expose it, and then you know, you can you know, use set you here again. I use my hands again. I just kind of push down with my hands, make sure it's kind of not real spongy, you know, because you pack it in so it's not as spongy, because peat moss is spongy, so it will move, you know, a little, not the trap, but just the ground. But you want to pack that down. Okay, I mean, you're pressing, you know, I was almost doing a push-up on this to get that packed around there. So that peat moss is all, you know, you got some jaws, but now you look, you can see the jaws, but it's kind of getting there. Now all we're going to do, my last thing that I like to do, you know, is a little bit more salt. I don't want things to freeze. This might sit here for 15 days. It's January 15th, you know, get by the levers, you know, just sprinkle it, you know, just get it in there, right? Now you're ready for your wax sand. I kind of noticed that I like these jars here. For me, one-handed filming, sorry, one hand, these jars here, about this much sand's filled up on this, what is it, 16-ounce planters. I still run bags there, but I'm gonna start changing over to some kind of container so I can just drop them in there and not worry about, you know, stuff getting ripped, because trapping, there's all kinds of pointy metal things everywhere. So, but yeah, so now you still got this little divot here. Like I said, you know, it's good, it's insulated, you got salt, you got peat moss in there, and then I'm gonna put this on here. And like I said, I mean, I pre-sifted its place in. When I made it, I sifted it, but you got these chunks in here. But what I do is I just kind of throw this whole can here. I could see a little hole right there, but I was a little less because I actually used some up there. I had the pan after a rain So I might be a little, not real short, but I mean, it'll work. But like I said, one of these just about full does a nice covering right here. So what I do, because now you added more weight to this, okay? See if I put my glove on, I don't like to touch this, and this is what they're gonna smell most. So I find my pan here, okay? That's like the top of it up here. Now up here, it takes more pressure to fire it. Down here, it takes less, but yeah, so here's the pan here. Okay, I just find it, and I just wanna brush it out, try to cover that peat moss and salt, okay? Pan's right in here, okay? Right here. So I'm gonna press down on both sides, right here, or all around. I wanna, cause this stuff, see, they come in here, they're walking on this. This is gonna be frozen tomorrow. They come in, it's frozen. They hit this, it's like, whoa, they're pulling back, man. They don't know what the hell they just stepped on. I mean, there's no sand anywhere. So, or dry dirt, you know. So you will still want to pack this pretty good. It just, I think it pays off too, you know. So let me pack that down, get my other glove on. Maybe you can see my face. So, yeah. So we're gonna pack this down right on the sides of those pans, okay? And when you do this, you could definitely tell if there's gonna be movement. You push down on the back here, nothing's moving up front, you're good. That means that ground ain't, you're good. Let me show you how it looks when you pack it here. Now I'm pushing down hard again, I'm not hitting that pan all around the jaws, you know, and you can see some salt from my knuckles come up through, but there's a good amount still in here because I pushed all that down. And then what you do is I smooth that out, kind of cover, like I said, cover some of that salt there, you know, whatever. Just, you know, if you don't use salt, that's fine, okay? Right there. Now, that right there is a working trap in all kinds of weather. I mean, definitely a firm believer. I've caught a few coyotes in this freezing temperature already when it's rained. And, you know, Christmas Eve 2022, I caught that coyote, -15. The trap was in the ground for a week. Everything else was solid rock. So that right there, now you got to blend it and everything. So, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, but it just, I mean, this will catch them. You know, it will catch them. But let me kind of show you what I like to do, I guess. I don't know. You know, you look around, you know, how it's kind of like that. You ain't going to get it like that because of that. But you don't want to get this stuff and go over it heavy, because that's all going to freeze. You know, what I like to do too is when I'm working with this stuff, I like to move all my stuff back here. I keep stuff back and kind of turn it around and get it so it's a few feet away too. But like I said, this is, I mean, I was touching the trap, but you know, definitely don't want to. I mean, they're gonna know I was here anyway. But I really feel that over scent and everything, you get bait in a hole and you got a solid trap. I mean, I think that's key. So, and then trying just to make it not look so obvious, you know, I just kind of, you know, you could rough it up a little like this, you know, kind of watch putting big sticks in there, you know. I mean, you got a lot of this small stuff here. You know, the more you rough it up, it's kind of hard just because there is bigger sticks in here. You could get my scissors and you can get some grass, or, you know, anything that's a little smaller. Like I said, this ain't real important, but it is sort of to me. I kind of like a little bit. You know, you get some of this finer stuff. You know, just, I mean, you don't need it, just a little. You know how it's already kind of blending in. You just didn't want to sift this dirt over top. I've seen it too much freeze, you know. But I do like to pat this down sometimes in the back. But that's a pretty good set there. I mean, you know, they're gonna come in. You got this back and back here. They're not gonna come up over and walk through all these sticks. It's all flat. They got, looks like something was laying right there digging. You got smells in there. So yeah, and like I said, this could sit, you know, for 10 days. It might not catch anything. If they come through here and they get to that hole, I can sure as bet that I will have something with that Bridger 3 right there. So yeah, you know, I don't like to box them in too much. I've kind of, when I first was trapping, like I made that like triangle thing, and I don't know, I think that that's almost worse. I think they kind of almost can smell a trap or something, you know. But yeah, sometimes, like, you know, you got a stick there, put a stick here, you know, they're gonna come up, step right here, lean, maybe step, and they're gonna step right there, right on that pan. So now we're just gonna bait. So, all right, well, let's see. Got my bait here, and I always carry a butter knife on the side of my tool bag, and pea. I spray pea last so you don't mess around and get anything everywhere on your hand. And then we're gonna use some canine call for the lure. Let's see, just opening it up. Like I said, I don't know if anybody's gonna get anything out of this. I'm gonna put it on there, and hey, this is what I've been doing. I've been doing pretty good this year. If I come back in the morning and there's one in here, it's gonna be double digits. So I just throw that down in that hole there. I mean, it's a pipe, and it's only whatever 8 inches long, so that bait's not in there real far like I would on my dirt holes. But I put a couple tablespoons in, because I figured something's coming up here and getting trapped, at least they have their last meal, you know. A little bit of mice and beef, a little bit of everything in there. So, but I do that, and then I'll throw my lure on here. Let me put you down for a second. Here, maybe you can see if I just do that. So the lure, use a butter knife or the stick, it don't matter. I'm gonna use a stick because this particular lure bottle is a smaller hole. Butter knife don't really fit in there. So, but yeah, I just get a stick. I get a nice swap on there. Okay. And what I do is I'll do something like this. I'll go in. I always kind of like to put it right here too. Just kind of rub it in the hole on the bait. You know, just get it. I like to get it in there. And then I always take another dab, and I always just put the stick somewhere right in there, just right above that thing, bait stick there. So that's it. Let me close this stuff up. But yeah, that's about it on this set. Main thing is when you're done, well, I got my urine here. Yeah, when you're done with it, I always spray my urine. I spray both sides usually. I spray like right here. I don't know if I spray a lot, but I spray on this side. Maybe I'll spray up here on the stick. So, but yeah, urine goes a long way. I spray a couple times a week depending on how much rain, but that stuff stinks. I think they smell that from a distance, but we got some good bait in there. And yeah, I think that this one should pick something up. So, yep, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Now, it's usually for me, start to finish, like I said, it's not about speed, it's about getting your trap. If you had 10 traps and you threw them in and not good, you might as well have 0 when you have one good trap, because anything that comes up here is not going to dig that up. It's solid, it's rock solid. They're not going to know it's there, you know. I know I touched it with my hands. I mean, I've used my hands before and caught dogs the next day. Scent's definitely a thing. They know that I was here, but like, again, this is public land. They run dogs here all the time. There's humans. They know humans are in here. So I just think that the most important thing is having that rock solid. And when you're dealing with freezing temperatures, you can't have any kind of wet ground kind of touching it, and using the wet ground, because once it hardens up, you're done. And make sure you put something under your pan or a screen cover. But yeah, even on a hard rain, you know, that rain's going to hit. Most of it's going to slide off. But yeah, this is a good working set here, guys. Hopefully that helps anybody that's trying to go out and trap. I've watched a lot of videos, and I know this one's going to suck just because it's not a tripod, and you know, I was trying to film one-handed, and you know how that goes. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoy it, man. Anybody getting into it, you know, comment or something, and I'll help you out. All right, guys.